السلام عليكم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. The horizon of history for the people of Arabia was contracted due to their geographical isolation and limitations in communication and transportation. However, the new message of Quran expanded their vision of history. It was surprising and interesting for the early group of Muslims in Mecca to receive the revelation of a Quranic construct or surah named after the Romans, Surah Ar-Rum. It was an indication that the history of the new message and its followers could not be separated from the history of the region and the history of the world. The surah shared with its readers a very important historical account, the defeat of the Romans at that juncture of history by the Persians, غُلِبَتِ الرُّوم. That incident provided an opportunity for Quran to give the believers a different perspective and a new meaning of victory. Following the truth is the way for the believers to victory, and not following the materialistic and expansionist agenda of their enemies. The believers were promised victory from Allah, who always speaks the truth and always keeps His promise, in two verses of Surah Ar-Rum, one in its beginning and one at its end, in a beautiful symmetrical fashion consistent with the overall coherence or nadhm of Quran. In verse number 6 we read, وَعْدَ اللَّهِ لَا يُخْلِفُ اللَّهُ وَعْدَهُ وَلَكِنَّ أَكْثَرَ النَّاسِ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. It is the promise of Allah. Allah never departs from His promise, but many people understand not. And in verse number 60 we read, فَاصْبِرْ إِنَّ وَعْدَ اللَّهِ حَقٌّ وَلَا يَسْتَخِفَّنَّكَ الَّذِينَ لَا يُوقِنُونَ. So patiently persevere, for verily the promise of Allah is true. Do not let those who have no certainty of faith shake your firmness. Patient perseverance or sabr is not idle waiting, but continuous striving and sacrificing for the sake of the truth, and not being distracted by those who take you lightly and for granted or undermine your strife and sacrifice. In fact, the patience of the believers paid off. Within a relatively short period of time, Arabia was successfully united, and its dedicated people, despite their limited material resources, prevailed over the Roman and the Persian empires. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين.